Whoa, it was Yang and Yang Gang. This your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. And man, the Yang Gang is having a civil war. Half of the Yang Gang is agreeing with Andrew Yang by endorsing Joe Biden, and the other half of the Yang Gang is saying that Andrew Yang that let him down by endorsing Joe Biden instead of Bernie Sanders. But Andrew Yang came out and said he did the math. Nothing about who he wanted to vote for or who he wanted to get behind. He said he was going to stand behind whoever the Democrat nominee is. And it just so happened the number said Joe Biden, even though in 2016 he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. Andrew Yang is showing you firsthand he do the math. So after the introductions, we going diving into that, and we going diving into this why they ain't giving us the money with the UBI instead of bailing out these bank companies again with these trillions of dollars. That's our money. Let's do this. Whoa, what's good with your YouTube and YouTube busted? Your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. And appreciate you for coming rock with me, like, sharing, and subscribing. And if you have an opinion about the situation that's going on, leave a comment below. I'm gonna read it, because when you comment, our collective minds put together, we bring synergy. This how we starting the video off? Double cup, feel it right. Told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. Now that the introduction's out the way, let's go straight diving into why the Yang Gang is having a civil war behind Joe funky ass Biden. Shit, man, excuse the profanity, but man, this is what's going on. Andrew Yang did the math. He told all of us beforehand the Democrat nominee he was going to back, because at the end of the day, it was going to be about beating Trump, then making the economy better to work for us. The only way we could be able to do this is we have to knock out step one first. We can't go all the way to X, Y, and Z, and we haven't learned 1, 2, and 3. But anyway, let's jump straight back into Joe Biden. He will win the Democrat nominee. The numbers just say it. But my biggest concerns is not the same as Andrew Yang, not all of them, but I have one in particular, one that's going to really be a make or break for Joe Biden, that a lot of black folks is asking about, and that is the legalization of marijuana. He was the person back then was saying it was still a drug, and Cory Booker, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do a little clip.
Missed this opportunity and lose because we are nominating someone that isn't trusted, doesn't have authentic connection. And so that's what's on the ballot, and issues do matter. Yes. I have a lot of respect for the vice president. He has sworn me into my office as a hero. This week I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. and let me tell you, because marijuana in our country is already legal for privileged people. And the war on drugs has been a war on black and brown people. And so let me just say this. With more African Americans under criminal supervision in America than all the slaves since 1850, do not roll up into communities and not talk directly to issues that are going to relate to the liberation of children, because there are people in Congress right now that admit to smoking marijuana, while there are people, our kids are in jail right now for those drug crimes. And so these are the kind of issues that mean a lot to our community, and if we don't have somebody authentically, we lost the last election. Let me just give you this data example. We lost in Wisconsin because of a massive diminution, a lot of reasons, but there was a massive diminution in the African-American vote. We need to have someone that can inspire, as Kamala said, to inspire African-Americans to the polls at record numbers.
Thank you, Senator Booker. Vice President.
Now you see what I'm saying about how Cory Booker destroyed him about the legalization of marijuana. Now Andrew Yang on CNN was saying, if Joe Biden want to stand up for the American people, that he want to pull over the Bernie Sanders supporters that went from the Yang Gang and the Yang Gang supporters that's not voting at all. If he want to pull in this crowd, the things that he have to do, like Andrew Yang was saying, let's just go ahead and play the clip so you can hear it best when it comes straight out of the Yang mouth himself. Andrew Yang, do your thing.
Paper a lot. We haven't heard from you a little bit. You haven't. Where do you see the race right now? Where do you see this going for Joe Biden?
I believe that Joe Biden will be the Democratic nominee. And I've always said I'm going to support whoever the nominee is. So I hereby am endorsing Joe Biden to be not just the nominee for the Democratic Party, but the next president of the United States. And I say this, having supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, Bernie was an inspiration for me, inspired my run. But the math says Joe is our prohibitive nominee. We need to bring the party together. We need to start working on defeating Donald Trump in the fall. I've had many personal conversations with Joe about the impact of the fourth industrial revolution on the middle class. I believe that he's the right man for the job to help us not just defeat Donald Trump, but govern the country in the years ahead.
And the question is, I guess I have for you, is what does he need to do to bring the Yang gang and the Sanders folks to him?
And what do you say to your supporters who might support Sanders still?
What I'd say is that we need to start doing the work of improving Americans' lives on the ground, because too many Americans have seen their way of life disintegrate over the last number of years. And Bernie has been calling out those problems and tapping into the frustration in the right way. And so if Joe says this is going to be a return to business as usual, he's in danger of losing many of the young people that came out for Bernie that supported my campaign. He has to show that, look, we know that this economy is not working for many, many Americans, millions of Americans who feel left behind. And you can't just say we're going to swing the pendulum back to the Obama-Biden years. We have to actually start doing the work that activated people to vote for Donald Trump, that activated people to get out for Bernie Sanders. I believe Joe is open to that message. His heart's in the right place. He's a really, really patriotic, public servant, decent man. He wants to do right by the American people. To me, a lot of it's about getting real solutions in place that more and more Americans feel like will actually improve their day-to-day lives.
Have you had conversations with the Biden campaign about endorsement?
I have. Joe called me last week. We had a really great conversation, and it was hard to say no to Joe at that time, but I have such admiration and respect for Bernie, what he's meant to so many Americans. I think Bernie has called out the real problems in a very powerful and necessary way. So I wanted to let the democratic process play out, and I believe it has. At this point, you can see very clearly that Biden is building a delegate lead that's only going to grow in the days ahead. And so we need to come together as a party starting tonight.
What would you say to Sanders supporters who, obviously are going to be unhappy if Sanders drops out of the race? For you, as it is, as Senator Sanders has said himself, defeating Donald Trump trumps all of that.
I would say I get it. And that I believe that Joe gets it too, even though you might not feel that in the same way. I get the frustration. I get the desire for a revolution. I get the fact that it seems like our institutions are failing us right and left. I get all of that. It's why I ran. But we have to defeat Donald Trump in order to make progress on the climate, on any of these problems in a bigger way. And you have to believe that Bernie and Elizabeth and I and other people will have a voice in the Biden administration to start solving these problems.
This is what.
Now let me end this video with this one, the most important one, the one that really just kind of made me feel like the Undertaker when I heard this and just raised up like, what the? That's why the profanity came out earlier. All right, the government is talking about bailing out. Through this crisis, over $1 trillion to the banks and stuff like that, instead of just taking this money and just giving it out to the American people that needs it, the people that need to go to the store and buy some hand sanitizer, soap. The banks don't need that. Why we need to go to the banks to get that? Why they just can't cut out the middleman, cut them all the way out for one time, give everybody their $1,000, see how this is going to work for a couple months, and then it might dawn on the rest of the world. Oh, Andrew Yang was saying something that really made sense. I don't know how people didn't understand it, but my whole thing was people are so hateful that they'll hurt themselves to make sure that you don't have it. That's the only thing that I could see. That's the only reason why I see somebody say UBI is a bad thing, and they can make up a whole bunch of nonsense about, oh, well, this won't do this and this can't do this here, or this won't solve all of this. And it's not supposed to solve it. It's supposed to kind of like relax the blow, bring you up, you know what I'm saying? Give you a helping hand. Sometimes when you fall down, you're trying to get back up. When somebody reach their hand out and pick you up, That's what that is. Now you can get up and run on your own. Why say, hey, the government every week they come bring us a fish to eat. They bring us a fish to eat. Now they have Andrew Yang come around and say, the government giving y'all a fish every week. As a matter of fact, even every day, the government just hand out everybody a fish. Here you go, a fish. But Andrew Yang is saying, look, I'm gonna give you a fishing pole. Now you can go out there and catch the fish and sell fish and be your own entrepreneur and make your own money. And now you won't just be over here with your hand out for the government forever. You will be able to do stuff to help the American people that's in the economy yourself. You ever seen like ants and stuff like that? They all working together. They all happy. They all doing things together because they all eating. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. Everybody eats. If everybody don't eat, then what are you doing it for? Man, dog, we did not vote for this. I did not approve of that personally. But if y'all find out any information about this situation, you know what I'm saying, put it down below. If you have any comments about it, put it down below. If you want other people to see this video about this BS, put it down below. Share it to other people. Tell them that Triple Cup is up. Man, I don't do this for me. I do this for we. So like, share, and subscribe. Man, we're going to do this again. Yang, yang.